I called my husband silly for freaking out that our teenage son has a girlfriend who's in a wheelchair. My husband James and I have a son Lucas, a freshman in high school. Right after Christmas break, a new girl named Yuki showed up in his grade. Within a week, Lucas and his friends wouldn't stop talking about her, how she was from Japan, skated better than half the boys on the team, had a laugh that made the whole cafeteria turn around. I heard all that before I ever heard the word wheelchair. I found out on a Tuesday picking Lucas up from school. I pulled up and there she was next to him, rolling across the lot in a black wheelchair with playing cards clipped to the spokes. Lucas said something that made her crack up before he hopped in my car. "Who was that?" I asked. "That's Yuki," he said, like it was obvious. "My girlfriend." I about swerved into a mailbox. Not because of the wheelchair, because my son had a girlfriend and I was the last to know. That night at dinner, Lucas showed his dad her Facebook. James looked at the photos, nodded, said she seemed sweet, asked normal dad questions. Then Lucas went to shower, and James got quiet, the kind of quiet where something's sitting behind his teeth. "What?" I said. "I don't know if he's ready for this," James said. "Dating a girl who uses a wheelchair is different than dating some girl from his math class. What if he doesn't know what he's getting himself into?" My face went hot. I told him that was an awful thing to say about a girl he'd met exactly 0 times. I called him silly. His jaw tightened and he walked out without finishing his plate. We didn't talk about it again for 2 weeks. I figured it had blown over. Then one night I found him in the garage, where he goes when something's eating at him, sitting on the tailgate staring at nothing. "What's really going on?" I asked. He told me about his older brother Nolan, who James never talks about, beyond saying he passed away when James was 23. I only ever had half the story. Nolan was paralyzed from the chest down at 19 in a dirt bike crash. 2 years later he dated Priya, who'd used a wheelchair her whole life. He loved her the second he met her, but he kept trying to prove he could still do things the old way. Wouldn't ask for help lifting her chair into the truck because he wanted to look strong. One night at a party, carrying her up 3 porch steps instead of grabbing the ramp, his arms gave out. Priya broke her collarbone and needed surgery on a hip already rebuilt twice. Nolan blamed himself so badly he stopped answering her calls, and he died in a car wreck 18 months later. James never said it was on purpose. He didn't have to. "I'm not scared of Yuki," James said. "I'm scared of Lucas wanting to look like a hero instead of asking her what she actually needs. That's what got my brother killed, not the chair, him refusing to just ask." I felt sick for calling him silly. He'd carried that for 16 years, and I'd steamrolled right over it at dinner. He said he'd tried to warn you without dragging Nolan into it, and it came out sounding like something else. I wanted to tell Lucas everything right then, but James wanted to talk to him man to man when the moment felt right. That moment never came in time. 3 weeks later was the winter formal. The gym has a DJ stage up 2 steps, no ramp, some old code loophole never fixed. Yuki told me later she'd mentioned that to Lucas as a joke, said she'd never get crowned anything on winter court since she couldn't get up on the stage. Lucas heard that as a challenge, not a joke. When her name got called for winter court, Lucas didn't ask the DJ to bring the mic down. He walked behind her chair, told her to hold on, and picked her straight up in front of 300 kids to carry her up himself. He made it 1 step before his foot caught the riser. They both went down hard. Yuki's wrist snapped under her bracing the fall, and Lucas split his eyebrow open on the stage corner. A kid started recording before a teacher grabbed the phone. The gym went dead silent except for Yuki, and she wasn't crying. She was furious. I got the call at 8:40 from the school nurse. James and I got to the ER right as Yuki's parents did, and I've never seen a room go cold that fast. Her mother looked at Lucas, 4 stitches over his eye, and said, she told him 3 times to just ask the DJ to move the mic stand. He didn't listen to a single word she said. Yuki wouldn't look at Lucas in the waiting room. Right before her dad wheeled her back for the x-ray, she finally did, and said one thing. "I don't need saving. I needed you to listen." Lucas cried the whole ride home. James didn't say "I told you so." He didn't have to. I squeezed his hand and told him I was the one who'd been silly, not him. He just nodded, and when we got home he sat Lucas down at the table and told him about Nolan for the first time in 16 years.